Alright, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we have another replay. This is going to be a land battle. Now, this is going to be some old versus new. The Tzeentch faction versus the Beastmen. I am playing as the Beastmen here. I don't actually remember who my opponent was, but this was on the ranked ladder. We've got a bunch of Gore Herd, not Ungores, just Gore Herd, couple Bestigors for a really strong, meaty backline. Or at least, I shouldn't say meaty backline, but meaty front line here for the Beastmen. Just a couple of Ungor Raiders is the actual backline. But the big thing in this army is this Jabberslythe. Led by a Doombull and then a Brave Shaman as well. We've got a bunch of Centaurs on the flanks. These Harpies are going to be super instrumental because my opponent has Screamers Tzeentch, four? Marauder Cav. It seems we've got Chaos Knights Tzeentch in the back there as well. Kairos Fate Weaver. The thing that's really nice here is Harpies are infantry models, so they're actually going to trade really, really well into these Screamers. So I've got them engaged with both of the Screamers on the side of my opponent. Other than that, though, my opponent has a mass amount of Blue Horrors and then a couple of Halberds, so things are going to get started away quite quickly here. Jabberslythe is dealing plenty of damage. It is an anti-infantry monster there. But those Halberds are going to start hurting it real good, so we've brought in some Bestigor Herds to try and deal with that. Kairos Fate Weaver's throwing down some Bloom Flame on those Bestigors, so hopefully that engagement goes our way. This Doombull's trying to hit the Skirmishers, but oh, it looks like we've got an engagement from the Sons of Goros and Centaurs fighting these Chaos Knights. Wow, that was a bit of a... Was that a bug? That was interesting, because the spell was definitely going down there, but the Sons of Goros did not take much damage. Maybe it was cancelled or something? Kind of interesting. We have a Feral Manticore summoned in. This is the Lore Beastcaster for the Beastmen, so I've got that and a couple of Flock of Dooms, I think. But this combat's going pretty well, actually. Sons of Goros are 1,200 gold, whereas these Knights of Tzeentch are much more expensive, so it's a trade that I'm willing to take so far. I'm bringing over the Jabberslythe to try and get a little bit more damage, armor-piercing damage specifically in there, as well as the Doombull, so we're going to try and win that engagement. Over here, things are going pretty well on most of these flanks. I'm not exactly destroying these Blue Horrors, but Blue Horrors can only be so threatening, so I'm not too worried about this. The meat of the army is in this section right here. We got the Halberds, the Knights, and a bunch of Skirmish Cavs, so Harpies are staying on them. Those Knights are pulling through, trying to get on top of the Ungor Raiders, who have been pretty much just chipping away at Kairos for the majority of this battle. This Jabberslythe is 65 speed. Oh, it looks like he's getting stuck, though. He was chasing Kairos for quite a ways there, but Kairos is going to be able to take off. Nope, it looks like he's going right into the Ungor Raiders to keep that fight up. So these skirmishers right here are definitely getting hounded a little bit, but they're still pretty healthy and doing plenty of damage. Looks like those Gore Herd just got wrecked. Jabberslythe's going to keep them on their toes, though, and so still not too bad of engagement for me. The Sons of Goros are coming back in. This is probably my favorite Regiment of Renown at the moment. Magic attacks is just super duper useful, especially against the new demon factions from Game 3, so I've found a bunch of use for them with Game 3 so far. Probably my favorite ROR at the moment. These Chaos Knights are routing off, and things are starting to swing a little bit into the Beastmen favor here, so looks like our Brave Shaman is going to just try and help to get rid of the rest of these Blue Horrors. These guys are about to fizzle out. I believe these Bestigors are going to come over to help deal with the Halberds. I don't really have anything good to kill the Halberds. I do have the Jabberslythe, but he's going to get hit pretty hard as well, as he is a large monster, and the Halberds are... That's kind of the fight they won regardless. So we've cleaned up the rest of these Blue Horrors. Luckily, it was a pretty static formation that just wasn't moving too much, so I had plenty of tools to get rid of them, and that worked out really, really well for me. But these Halberds are actually taking a butt ton of damage. Centaur's great weapons do have armor piercing, and then the Jabberslythe is just a little too much money on top of them. So these Halberds are actually taking an absolute beating, even though that should be a pretty good fight for them. Looks like we got a Vortex spell coming in. Summon in right there. Best scores are going to get hit real hard, but these Halberds are basically gone at this point, and these guys are about to rout. It's pretty much just the Skirmish Cav and Kairos left. He's coming down on top of the Ungors, who have been still shooting at him most of the game, but there's just so much Beastmen on the field at this point. If we fast forward things along... Oh, it looks like these... Oh, no, those are just Marauder Horsemen. Yeah, Chaos Knights are gone. So, we're just going to speed things along here. This is a pretty quick one, but it was a land battle that I did enjoy, and I haven't had as many uploads as of late, so I'm going to try and pick that up, but Tzeentch was one of the factions I was very curious to fight against. I haven't been getting matches with them very often. It doesn't seem like they're an extremely highly played faction, at least in my experience. I have not been getting the chance to deal with them too often. Those blue horrors I was a little bit worried about, but the gore herds seemed to beat them up pretty well, and that worked out pretty well for me. And I think the harpies are absolutely amazing in this matchup. Harpies are going to be able to invalidate pretty much the Furies and Screamers, most of the flying from Tzeentch. If they bring Doom Knights, that's a bit of a different story. But that's a lot more expensive to kind of... Was that Blue Flame? I don't know what that was. I don't know Tzeentch too well. Either way, the Air Force for Tzeentch can be pretty easily countered with these Harpies. Except for those Doom Knights, of course. But luckily, on the ground, things go really, really well because Beastmen are super duper quick, so I can get on top of most of their throwers, or their ranged units, anything of that such. As you can see, the Marauder Horsemen definitely, I think, did some damage, but not as threatening to Beastmen as they are to most factions. Beastmen are a little too quick, and as you can see, they're just going to catch these Marauder Horsemen here. The Centaurs are, at least. Oh, alright, yeah, they're continuing with it. But that should be the GG. Nice and quick one. That's usually how they go for Beastmen land battles. But PSA, I just want you to know, when you're going up against Tzeentch, I highly recommend taking Harpies. In fact, I would recommend that against most demon factions, because they will pretty much trade cost effectively into Furies, and that's just a big win for the most part. So, Doombolt not getting too much value, Jabber, Slythe, same as there. Looks like the Brave Shaman did a lot. Sons of Goros not paying for themselves at all. It doesn't seem like we got too much crazy value. This Great Whip and Centaur definitely did super well. But for the most part, this is against a lot of demonic units, so there's just a lot of crumbling out, and it's not going to show as much damage value here. But I think things did go pretty darn well. We pretty much invalidated most of their units, and they're not going to get a lot of cost out of it. So Skirmishers did the best. Blue Horrors not so much. Well, they definitely paid for themselves here and there. Either way, another quick, super fast battle. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.